He is in his room, and at that moment he lifts the edge of the mattress, removing a certain amount from under him, and at that moment his employee enters the room without knocking on the door and watches him counting the money. Then she leaves the room and does it again, your service. Then he leaves the room, passing her in the living room, and leaves the house. She, very curious, starts to follow her boss. She hides behind the trees so he doesn't notice her, while he continues to walk suspiciously, looking around. He crosses the street and she follows him, keeping a certain distance. He arrives at the square and sits on a bench, looks at the phone while he waits. Then a girl arrives with a child on her lap and sits next to him, and the employee nearby behind the cars observes everything and starts recording the two, saying that he has another family. As they talk, he hands over the amount in his hand to her and says goodbye to her, while his employee stops filming and runs back to the house without him noticing her. Back in his room, he removes his jacket and sits on the bed when his employee enters without knocking on the door. He then asks what she is doing there and if she doesn't have to be cleaning the house. So she says yes, but before anything else they have to talk. He then asks her what she wants. She starts by saying that one day she was taking a walk in the square and saw an unbelievable scene. He, without understanding what it was about, is amazed, and asks how. Well, she continues saying that she saw him delivering money to a girl with a child in the square. So he says he doesn't understand, but she goes on and says he has another family, so he says she's got it all wrong and it's not what she's thinking. She goes on to say that she saw very well him giving the money to the girl and that she is sure it is his other family, and then says what would his wife think of that situation, and even says that she has a video on her phone. So he asks where she wants it with all that. She then says she wants gifts and perks, money, clothes, and that she even wants a dress for his wife, saying that it's black and white and that when his wife wears it it's too ugly and that he is sure that it would look much better in it. Then he says that if she wants clothes she will have clothes, but she goes on to say that she doesn't just want clothes and that she also wants shoes to match the clothes and that she also wants jewelry, hinting at him. He says that for her to keep quiet he will give her everything she wants, but that she has to keep quiet and not say anything. She then leaves, pulling him by the shirt to his wife's wardrobe. The first dress she picks up is the black and white one and she starts simulating how it would look on her. He says that it will look more beautiful on her than on his wife. He then says that if it's what she wants she can take it, but she says that he doesn't want just that one and that he's going to get more, and gives him the dress and starts picking up others. She takes 4 of his wife's dresses and says she wants a piece of jewelry from her too, and asks where she is, demanding a piece of jewelry that matches the dress. He then says they are in the top drawer. She pulls out the drawer and starts digging through her jewelry box until you find one you like. She's all pretty walking down the street in her boss dress when suddenly she's approached by her boss, who wants to know why she's wearing her dress. So she says that the dress is hers, but the boss says she knows her dress from afar and that it is hers. The employee then says that it was her husband who gave it to her as a gift. The wife wants to know what she did to he give his dress to the maid. She then says that it's not her fault if her husband is cheating on her, and that she asked and he gave her the dress as a gift. The indignant woman says that she is going crazy to insinuate herself like that, and they start fighting right there at that moment, while the woman tells her to go take off her dress. Dropping her employee on the floor, she says that she found out that her husband has another family, so she wants to know exactly what is going on and how her husband has another family. Then she asks why she didn't tell her everything while she went to blackmail her husband just to get her expensive dresses. She tries explain herself by saying that it's nothing like she was thinking and that she only wanted him because she thinks he's handsome. Then the mistress grabs her by the hair and calls her a fake and says that since she is blackmailing her it is for her to do it right, and meanwhile from a certain distance he is watching everything that is happening between the two of them. And that she will now ask him for an amount and she will give all the money to her boss. She then says it's not fair for her to ask and get nothing. The boss says that then they divide half for each one holding the fur face and asks if it's okay. The employee then agrees. The boss then says that from that moment on they are partners and leave. Soon at home the wife is blindfolded and asks what her husband is up to and what all that is for. He then enters with 2 glasses of juice, putting one in his wife's hands, saying it was hers. He then uncovers her eyes and says he wants to toast. She then asks what they are going to toast, and at that moment the doorbell rings and he asks his employee to answer the door for him. She goes to answer the door and is outraged to see who is there looking for her boss and soon starts humiliating the girl in front of her son, and asks what she is doing there with that child. The girl then asks her to calm down and that he just wants to talk to his boss and that it is urgent. The employee says that she can only be going crazy, and at that moment her boss arrives wanting to know what is happening there, so the employee says she doesn't understand what she wants there and that his wife can come and see her there, and they keep talking out loud. At that moment the mistress arrives and wants to know what is happening and what she is doing there at her house, so the girl asks him to respect her and the angry wife asks what she is doing there in her house and that she is his lover and without thinking slaps her in the face. The girl then asks if she is going crazy, and her husband reacts saying that that's enough and that that girl is his sister, so the girl says she doesn't want to end his marriage and that she just wanted to return the amount he had arranged for her days ago. His wife, not knowing what to do, says that his employee had said that she was his lover, and the employee says that she saw and recorded everything, and he then says that what she saw that day he was just returning the money she had lent for him and that's what she saw. The wife then apologizes for everything and that she didn't know they were brothers and apologizes to the girl too, but she doesn't accept and returns the slap she took, saying you should never hit a person without knowing, and takes her baby out of there. Her angry husband says that she had lent him money to pay for her luxuries, because her money can't afford her, and that she did that to her, calling her employee Maria Fifi. He asks her if she doesn't take care of her life and if told his wife that she blackmailed him and was ingratiating herself with him. The wife then asks him for forgiveness, saying she loves him, but he doesn't accept it and still says that all that situation made him realize what kind of woman she was, so he takes the money that is in his hand and throws it at the woman, saying that what he wanted was money so that he would take it and leave his house at that moment and that he would leave soon. And he tells the employee what she wanted was clothes, and she takes some clothes and throws her and tells her to leave too, pushing her out of her house. She asks if he's crazy and leaves, and he closes the door.